Hi class, welcome to Geometry Extension, during which today we will be talking about the law of sines. So the law of sines is very important. It talks about a triangle, and it says that the sine of an angle over that angle is proportionate to... Hi class, welcome to our first Geometry Extension class, where we will be discussing the law of sines. So the law of sines for a triangle states that the sine of an angle over the side length across from it equals the side of another angle over side across from it. And actually that would extend to the third one as well, that the sine of C over C would also be equal. And we will see that this applies not only for right triangles, but actually all triangles. So it does not need to be a right triangle for this to be true. Let's look at our first example in our workbook, page 219. So we've got this triangle, this is number 7, and we can write our law of sines. That states that the sine of 55 over the side across from it, 18, equals the sine of 32 over the side across from it, x. Now I chose to do that so that I only had one variable. If I had two variables, I would not have been able to solve it. So algebraically, what we can do is multiply both sides by x. So we cancel out x over here. And then I will need to multiply both sides by 18 over sine 55 to get x by itself. Then we see x equals 18 sine 32. Normally we put the integer first. All over sine 55. So, taking a step back, all we did was multiply both sides by x to get x in the numerator, and then we multiplied both sides by 18 over sine 55, which is the reciprocal of this number, so that x is all by itself. Then we can use our calculator or Google, but if you're using Google, make sure you say degrees. Then we see that it's 11.65, so let's fill that in. That's rounding to the nearest hundredth. Now it should be proportionate that an angle is then going to be proportionate to the side length across from it. So 55 is larger than 32, thus 18 should be larger than 11.65. So that's a really good check of your answer. Make sure that they are proportionate. Right, now I need to find y. I would say let's use the same sine 55 over 18 because that was what was given. So we'll have sine 55 over 18. Now I need to find this angle, and I don't know what it is. But I know it's a triangle, and I know the two other angles. So we say all angles in a triangle add up to 180. So 55 plus 32, that gives me my 87. And then I do 180 minus 87 to get my 93 up here. That goes back to the fact that all angles in a triangle add up to 180 degrees. Then we just write down here sine 55 over 18 equals sine 93 over y. We do the same algebraic manipulation we did in the first part, multiply both sides by y, and multiply both sides by 18 over sine 55. And we will get 18 sine 93 all over sine 55. And we do that with a calculator, and we get 21.94. So that should make sense that y is larger than x and 18 because 93 is larger than both those angles. It's a really good check of your answer. 93 is the largest angle, should be across from the largest side. The smallest side should be across from the smallest angle, etc. All right, let's do one more, and then I'm going to set you free to work on the workbook problems. So for this one, we know we have 22 and x, and we have 112 and 15. So let's start with those two. Let's leave y for last. Draw a little box. No, that's from the first part. So we can say sine of what we know, 112, all over the side across from it, 15. Sorry, my recorder turned off there for a second. So, what you missed. We had sine 112 over 15 equals sine of 22 over x. Then we need to multiply both sides by x to get x in the numerator, and multiply both sides by the reciprocal of sine 112 over 15. So we multiply by 15 over sine 112. And we get that these cancel out. These cancel out. We're just left with x. Those oh no, those don't cancel out. Those cancel out. That stays. So we just get sine 15 sine 22 all over sine 112. And then you do that out with your calculator and you get 6.06. That's my x value. Quick check. 6.06 is across from 22. Those are both smaller than 112 and 15, so we're good so far. Next, we need to find this unknown angle. We say, okay, all angles in a triangle add up to 180. 112 plus 22, that gives me 134. And 180 minus 134 is 46. So now I can write sine of 46 all over y equals, and I'll use the ones I started knowing, sine 112 all over 15. We algebraically manipulate that. Get y equals 15 sine 46 all over sine 112. Do that out with your calculator and you get 11.63. That's your y value. We check. Both of these values are in the middle. 46 is in the middle of 22 and 112. 11.63 is in the middle of 6.06 and 15. So we're good to go.